Welcome back to Strength Cultures Podcast, number one in the hearts, number one in the charts. Today we have our first guest episode for the year with Chris Harris, who is kind of like an adventure racer, does some pretty crazy events around the world. Recently, he's done a 100-kilometer run or hike up Mount Kosciuszko, which is Australia's highest mountain. And then just last month, he climbed the highest mountain in Antarctica, which is a crazy story and one that I know everyone who listens to this podcast will enjoy. So thank you very much, Chris Harris, for jumping in on today's podcast. We know it's going to be a fun one. I think we jumped straight into the conversation, starting with the Antarctica event that he's just completed.
Antarctica.
And what, climbing a mountain, running a marathon?
Climbing a mountain, running marathons, ultras.
Doing everything.
Lifting weights.
Part of the new surge of the enduro events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Antarctica.
The hybrid training style.
Absolutely. Just keep that.
Right.
Yeah. How'd you get into all this stuff?
Mountaineering, I started when I was young, actually. I was on track to be one of the youngest people to climb the Seven Summits, which is the highest mountain on each continent.
Yep.
And actually went to Everest when I was 15. I was going to be the youngest person to climb Everest, but didn't get to the top. And then...
Why not?
A few different things, but mainly couldn't breathe at one point. We started...
Yeah, makes it hard.
We started out on one day, moving up to the next camp, and just could not breathe. So,
Yeah.
and then from there we decided to call it quits. Came back to Australia and fell into like normal teenage life.
Yep.
And then did normal life stuff. When started businesses, did a few other different things, and then a couple of years ago, sort of realised that there's still goals that I really want to get, so started playing quite hard.
Yep.
And here we are.
And you just started.
So you were 15 trying to crack Everest.
15 trying to crack Everest, yeah.
That's cool, because one of our, obviously it's on a much lower scale, but one of our members went to base camp a few months ago, and just like even with that, like I know it's not as high, but he was explaining how like you've got to acclimate to the different levels, and like they were taking medication because you get dizzy and stuff, like, and that's not, obviously not even as high, like, so you know
It's,
all about that.
base camp's still got some decent height, like you'll definitely feel the altitude.
Yeah.
It's did you watch that documentary? That guy that did the 14 Peaks or whatever it was a few years ago. The guy that climbed.
I haven't actually watched it, but a lot of people have told me about it.
Because I watched it because I didn't. Yeah, if you don't really have much context, but then with climbing and stuff. But like apparently everyone was like, he's a nutcase to do it in 9 months to do all of them, because your body takes quite a bit of time to recover from the low altitude and the climbing and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd highly recommend watching that.
Yeah, I do need to.
He's a
I actually hardly watch any TV at all. So
yeah.
Too busy climbing mountains.
There's no reception.
So how old are you now?
34.
34, because this is 20 years ago or 19 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you said you came back, you did normal teenage things, and then when did you start to go, all right, start pushing some of these endurance
pretty well too,
events?
like a bit over 2 years ago. I actually listened to, do you guys know who Cam Haines is?
The Hunt Days, the bow.
So I
hunt,
listened to his book, and it kind of just kicked me in the gear to be like, fuck, let's go.
Was he Meat Eater? Is that his?
No, that's Steve Rhinella. Cam Haines is the other guy that is always on Joe Rogan, that he's a hunter, but he runs does stupid ultra running events as well.
Crazy stuff.
He's like Goggins.
So you got caught in this whirlwind. I feel like there's so much of it now.
There is, like, even like, I obviously had no idea when I started listening to Cam Haines' book and whatnot, and then I started doing research like David Goggins and all those kind of people, and now like you just start, it's just a hole that never ends. Like you start looking at events and stuff, and there's just so many different events like around the world that you can do, and just cool challenges that people come up with, and we're just advancing as well so rapidly in what we're doing. Like the distances are getting further, the times are getting faster, and it's just like, to me it's like, what can we do? Where's it stop?
Yeah.
I think it's epic. I really do.
Yeah,
It's a rabbit hole.
It's I'm fascinated by it, but I'm never going to do any of this stuff. I don't think it's not for me.
Never?
Nah, I don't see it. I
Can't even get him to run.
I've been running.
It's like a 5K.
Yeah. So what's the recent one with Antarctica?
So Vincent Massive is a mountain down there.
Yep.
Pretty cruisy mountain, but as more the location, the weather, that was probably the big issues down there. Get pretty cold temperatures.
How cold are we talking?
The coldest we got was minus 35, which was warm. We were
Warm,
planning
hot summer.
on our summit day, we were sort of planning for anything between minus 30 and minus 65.
Holy
You
shit.
got the good side of
We
it.
got the good side of it. So, which is kind of disappointing. Like, I was really hoping for the minus 60. Like, I'm like, give us that real hard time here. Like,
No chance.
As it gets colder and colder, does the feeling of the air does it feel much colder? Or is there a point where it just feels the same?
you kind of,
Do you notice
like
it?
anything, you adapt to it.
Yeah.
So when I first got to Antarctica, like everything was like gloves, like, and like layers and layers. By the time we were leaving Antarctica, same sort of temperature, and you all of a sudden you can get 10, 15 minutes without wearing gloves and things like that. So you really do get quite adapted to it. But you definitely, you feel it in your nose and your throat and all that sort of stuff. Like everyone was getting sick towards the end because your body's adapting to that cold air, especially when you start slogging away up a hill and you're breathing quite heavy, like your throat, is just copping an absolute hammering. But yeah, you just adapt like anything else.
Yeah, how long were you there for?
A little bit over 3 weeks in actual Antarctica, so a lot longer than we were planning. We were meant to be there for about 9 days.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Got stuck there.
Got stuck there.
So
Too cold.
were you stuck pre or post hitting Vincent
Pre,
Massive? Oh, so you didn't
which
even,
was-
I didn't even got there.
So
Fuck.
you fly into Union Glacier, which is like like a mini town in Antarctica, say. Where they have like a big airstrip for a big plane to land, and like they have all little planes, stuff like that. You fly there, and you're meant to sort of fly straight into base camp from there. But we got stuck there for 11 days.
Stuck at the airport.
Yeah, stuck at the airport essentially, and just sleeping in tents. They had like a tiny little gym with maybe a 60-kilo barbell that you could get going, and a 10K loop that every time you wanted to do a loop, you had to have someone with you. So if no one else was keen, you sort of missed out for the day. But made do and got a little bit of activity in, but it's pretty boring 11 days, that's for sure.
Yeah, in a tent with nothing to do.
Yeah.
The town that you said, Union Glacier?
Union Glacier, yeah.
Glacier, where you fly into, so there's obviously the runway. Is there what else is there?
There's a big tent for eating.
A big tent.
But actual big tent, like it's decent, like probably 120 people end up in this tent.
Tables and stuff in
Tables
there,
and
yeah,
stuff.
like a room.
Yeah. So everyone sort of hangs out there. They give you breakfast, lunch, dinner, set times, obviously. It's kind of like army style. Like you go up, get a plate of whatever, eat food, have a chat.
Bit of slop.
Bit of slop. No, the food there
Oh,
was
really?
actually unreal. Like,
Really?
Polar bear?
Like, not polar bear. that's north. But a little bit of penguin.
Penguin.
Yeah.
Fucking oath.
But
Killer whale?
yeah, killer whale. But no, it was, the food was actual next level, like proper vegetables, like steaks.
Oh,
shit
really?
like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, like
Fucking
proper
oath.
food. It wasn't until you get on the mountain that the food, like you get higher up on the mountain, you start eating your freeze dried food and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
Little rations.
yeah,
And how big's the mountain?
about 5,000 meters.
Yeah.
So
Fucking hell.
it's actually lower than Everest Base Camp in perspective.
Yeah, right.
So it's
But
not
the-
a height. It's more the location. of
Absolutely.
it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all that.
The
sort of
weather.
stuff. The weather. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it windy at all?
Nah, like we literally, and it sucks, but we got perfect conditions pretty much. Other than when we were waiting to fly, and then we held back at low camp for 4 days, waiting for like a perfect summit day. Which I was like, just send it. Let's go to the summit now. And everyone else in the team was like, no, we'll wait for the perfect.
So what
weather.
was it that they were waiting for weather-wise? Like, is this like the temperature or the amount of
Temperature
snow?
and wind mainly.
Yeah, right.
So on the day that I was pushing the summit, it was maybe like minus 45 and I think like 15 knots of wind or whatever, which then made the chill like about minus 60. So, but I was like, that's what I came for. So that's what I was
you
like.
wanted
the full experience.
Yeah. So,
Crazy.
but each their own. So,
That's fucking wild. That is absolutely wild. How long did you train for it all? What does training look like for this? Like, how do you even...
It's just been fit, really.
Yeah.
There's a big difference in fitness levels on the mountain. So all up, there's probably, when we were there, there's 38 climbers, 38 climbers, I think, and then some guides and whatnot. But between like your top level performers and your bottom level, like massive difference.
Oh, really?
Like, for example, our first day when we walked to low camp from base camp, it took us 6 hours with our team. And then a couple of days later, because we were hanging out at low camp, 3 of us decided to go back to base camp and grab some wine and steak. Sounds hard. So we went from 6 hours coming up the first time to 2 hours coming up the second time. So that's kind of the fitness level differences.
Because it was just people that were actually more experienced.
Yeah, and just fit. But fit, like training wise, it's just like I did Kosciuszko 100 a month or 2 prior, whatever it was. And then after Kosciuszko 100, I was just doing a lot of hiking to build the shoulders of the pack.
Where do you hike mainly?
Just anywhere in Queensland. Like I live Gold Coast, so just wherever. Yeah. Nerang, like I spend a lot of time out in Nerang trail running and hiking out there, but anywhere I can get to that's nicer if I can.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
Trail running.
Yeah,
I've just started recently.
Yeah,
because I'm doing a 50K in the Blue Mountains.
UTA,
yeah, the UTA one in May, and it's crazy. I really enjoy it. I was like, this is like, I like road running. I do like the simplicity of it. Just go out here on Beach Road, whatever, hit my runs and stuff. But when you go out there, it's like, it's a different experience, completely different experience. I was like, I can definitely see myself diving into this more.
Yeah.
Do you do much trail running?
Heaps.
That's like your main.
Predominantly what mainly what I try and do.
Yeah.
Like obviously training, like I spend like 4 days road running. Yeah. And then 2 days trail running. Like my long run's always trails. And then I'll do like an easy run on trails as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you cannot beat trail running when you go somewhere hectic. Like you go Vic High Country or somewhere like that and you start running out there and it's just like unbelievable.
How do you find your trails? Do you use the all trails?
All trails.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at, because I'm like, it gets a bit, you got to sort of find them and.
But you get all trails, I don't know. Like I've ended up on some pretty shocking trails that you can't even really run, and you just end up like out for a hike or whatever.
Walking,
But you just take the good with the bad. Sometimes you end up on some wicked ones. Depends how many trails you're trying to run.
Yep.
Probably the best trail that I've ran so far is Grand Canyon over in
the States.
Yeah. I didn't do rim to rim, which I wanted to do that, but it just didn't work out with everything else we're doing. But I did, 30K through the Grand Canyon.
Yep.
It's just next level. Like
it's wild
scenery.
The Grand Canyon is absolutely crazy.
What is the Grand Canyon? How is that made?
They reckon like
aliens.
Just a shit ton of water. I think
it was water.
Just a shit ton of water.
Used to run through there.
Younger dryers.
Younger dryers. But like, you think it's like Grand Canyon. You see the photos and stuff, but once you get there, it's just like
photos.
Photos don't do anything justice.
No, like it's absurd how vast it is.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And you have you been down the bottom?
We didn't go down. I climbed down a little bit of it, but I didn't get all the way to the bottom.
Like when you actually get down into the bottom and that, you're like, fuck, this is like.
Yeah.
As you're going down, it's like this is actual like deep. Like
it's crazy.
So when you do the trail and you run the trail, are you running down on the top, down the bottom, like a bit of both?
So start from the top and I ran down one way and then like through a bit of the bottom and then came back up another way and then sort of ran a little bit at the top, which did like a 32K loop or something like that. And it's pretty. It was hot when I did it. It was maybe June or July when we were there, so it was cooking hot.
Yeah,
but
it's fucking
when I think it went at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was just by the time I finished, I don't know, maybe finished at like 10 o'clock roughly from memory, and it was fucking
steaming.
Yeah,
middle of the desert.
Would not want to be in there any longer.
Yeah.
Going to take a quick break to let you know that we are available here at the gym to help you with your training, whether or not you're looking to push your strength, learn the barbell lifts, overcome some confidence problems that you might have, whether it be training or pushing yourself or setting up the right plan. We are here to help. So if you are interested in coaching, if you are interested in taking the next step with your training, please jump through the first link down below to see our coaching options. We'd love to help you. Both in-person and online services are available.
Did you run that with people or by yourself?
Nah, just by myself. Do a lot of running by myself. I just find it works better for me.
Yep.
Like run with my brother-in-law a little bit, run with my actual brother a bit, but other than that, most of it's by myself, especially training runs. Like you just get to choose your own pace. I think it makes it easier.
Yep.
Get some good time in your own head.
Yeah.
Are you headphones or no headphones for those long ones?
I love this actually because I see all the stuff on Instagram and that, and I'm like, fuck, who cares? Like, do what you want to do. Do what you feel like.
What about the demons, mate? You got to fight the demons.
What do you do though?
Either. Like sometimes I'll run no headphones. Sometimes I'll go headphones.
On both as well. I really enjoy podcasts when I'm on my long. Because now I'm starting to get into 2 hour like runs and stuff.
Yeah.
Podcasts are great.
Yeah, so I'll start with like either an audio book or a podcast or something like that, and then by the end of the long run, I'm getting into some music or just quiet time, like whatever it sort of vibes going. But but in saying that, like every ultra 100k ultra I've done so far, I've pretty much done no music for it. Like, and it's like
You just go.
like it's not even like you don't even think about it. Like you just in the moment and you're just loving it, so you don't even need the music or anything like that. It's
just you and the demons,
scenery,
battling the demons. I was gonna say it sounds like you've got a massive year ahead of you, or at least to us. You're doing like how many events do you have planned?
We've just done Antarctica, so that's done. So that's one ticked off. The next thing I was meant to do is run across New Zealand, which is just for shits and giggles. I'm probably going to
just the length of New Zealand.
Nah, just from coast to coast.
Yeah.
No,
how far is that?
300 k's.
Nah, 300. Cheeky 300.
It's not exciting in terms of what other people are doing, but it's just more for fun.
Yep.
But I'll probably wait until after UTA Miler to do that now, because the sort of Antarctica threw me off a little bit with training for the Miler, so now I need to really dig deep into training now. Yep. Get that done. So
what's the Miler?
100 miles.
Yeah.
Up in Blue Mountains, same as
Charlie.
Is it the same? But that's not the same weekend. When is that one?
It is the same. I'll be there at the same. Was yours on Saturday?
May 18th that weekend.
Yeah.
Because when I was looking at it,
I think mine's 17th, maybe. I don't even know. I'll know when I get closer.
There was a 20, a 50, and a 100k, but I didn't see there was this is a 160k as well.
Yeah, which came out after they sold out of everything. They then launched the Miler. And
apparently
it's the first Miler they're doing there.
Big set of stairs to finish.
Yeah. Do you do that on the 50k?
Yeah, apparently it all finishes there.
Yeah, so I did UTA last year, and those stairs.
Cook ya?
Yeah. Hectic.
Just zing out.
How many stairs? How long you roughly?
I don't even know. I was cooked by that time.
Yeah.
no perception at that point.
30 minutes.
Actually, the funniest thing about that, when I got to the stairs, there was two guys that were either drunk or on fuck knows what. But they were probably halfway up the stairs and full blown yelling. Everyone like cheering them on and that. You could hear him from like down the bottom, then you could hear him all the way up to the top. So the whole time I was on the stairs, all I could hear was these two guys just yelling, "Come on, buddy!" Or just whack stuff. So that's my memory of the stairs. But the
stairs,
they're definitely steep.
Then the finish line's not far after that.
No, they trick you. Well, for the 100k anyway, they trick you. You get to the top and they're like, "Oh yeah, the finish line's not far," and you're running and you're running and you're running, and then you start going downhill, and you're like, "Am I going the right way here or what?" Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, you question yourself, and you see like another head torch like ahead or whatever, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, sweet, it must be going the right way," and then you start coming back up, and then you get to the finish line. But it's definitely, they tell you you're almost at the finish line.
They suck you in a bit.
Definitely, yeah.
Keep your hopes alive.
Yeah. So you got the Miler in May.
Yeah.
And then where?
Alaska to climb Denali or Mount McKinley, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And then in November is probably the big one. Is 7 marathons, 7 days on 7 continents. Yeah. Great World Race, which is...
How the fuck does this work?
7 consecutive days.
Yeah.
So you got to fly bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
So you're jumping on a plane every day.
So you sleep on the plane. So you start in Antarctica.
Yeah, I was just saying, what's the plan?
Antarctica. You start in Antarctica.
Is that every continent? Is there only 7?
Yeah.
There's 7 continents.
Yeah. So you start in Antarctica, then Cape Town across to Perth, and then from Perth, Istanbul or whatever, which Istanbul's obviously border of Europe and Asia. So
So you can tick both.
So you tick both.
Because you've done them both.
Yeah. Well, you do a marathon one side one day,
Yeah.
next day.
Yeah.
So that's the only night you get to stay in a hotel.
You get a
which
bit
will
of
be
No planes.
nice. Yeah.
bit of recovery.
And then cross to South America, which I actually don't even know where we go in South America. It's somewhere in South America. And then finish in Miami. And yeah.
Finish at Live nightclub afterwards.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So when you do this, will there be a bunch of people like more or less following that same?
Yeah, so there's 60...
Everyone's on the
60
flight
runners
together,
that
just
do
doing it together.
Yeah. So charter a whole plane, like there's a whole plane with like business class seats, so you get to lie on the plane.
Wow.
So yeah, it
And
shouldn't be too bad.
What kind of times are we looking at for these marathons?
I honestly don't know.
Do people like do
Like,
you purposely go slower at the start, like the first couple, and like
strategically you would.
yeah,
I think for me, my main thing is just get sub 4 hours on every marathon, and I'll be stoked.
What's your best marathon?
I actually haven't even done a marathon, to be honest.
Never. You just do these hundreds.
Like I've done like some training marathons and that, like just as a cruise, but I've never raced a marathon. So, like Garmin, I think at the moment is estimating like 3:15 for a marathon for me, which it probably would be.
Yep.
I reckon I'd get that time pretty
Yep.
cruisy at the moment.
So you need because the 4 hour you need the 5:40, 5:41 ish pace around there.
Yeah, probably around that. Yeah.
Would you be able to hold that comfortably?
Yeah.
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 Crazy.
Easily. No doubt.
Nah,
You could do it for 100 miler.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
100 miles, maybe not.
And how long has this one been? Because it doesn't make any sense to me. How long has this been on the bucket list for?
Probably since the start of last year.
Yeah.
Like I saw it. I don't even know where I saw it, but I saw it and I was like, that's epic. I gotta
Yeah.
do that. Like,
We're around the world trip.
yeah.
And do you know anyone that's done it?
No.
No one.
No one.
Are you in like a group chat with these other 59 people?
No, because a lot of them haven't even signed up yet. So they've only just released tickets for it now. So they obviously did it in November.
Yeah.
They've just been. I was watching it all on Instagram and that, and I was like, "Fuck, this is actual next level shit." Like,
Fucking wild.
Just the
Probably more
experience of being
the-
in 7 continents in 7 days is already crazy. Let alone the fact you're running a marathon.
Yeah.
Like, especially in such a group of all these guys who are doing alongside you. Like, it's nuts.
yeah,
Crazy.
like the experience itself will be probably more valuable than the actual effort or anything like that. So
Yeah.
Crazy.
that's what I'm most looking forward
What's
to.
the most running in a week you've done?
Probably biggest week so far is only like 130k.
Yeah.
So nothing
Nothing crazy.
hectic.
So we're gonna double that.
Yeah.
280.
Yeah.
About thereabouts.
280.
Yeah.
280.
290.
294.
294.
Yeah.
Quick maths.
So it'll be a good couple of weeks of recovery after, that's for sure.
Yeah. You're in Miami. The central point of it all. It's fucking wild.
So
Absolutely
I
wild.
was gonna ask, one, you're doing King of the Hill, but also November, you probably got to. That's the reason why you're doing.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd consider?
King of the Hill.
Because you were there.
Yeah.
You were there last year.
Yeah, so we volunteered. I was sitting up on top of the hill most of the time.
How steep was the hill?
Steep. Like actual steep. Like they're not joking. Like
No?
like they say, like photos don't do stuff justice. Like even actually, funny enough, I was looking at like some photos and videos of Antarctica, and there's like we're going up like hills like this, and they look like they're like that. It's the same with King of the Hill. Like the King of the Hill on the photos and that doesn't look that steep, but when you get out there, like it is definitely steep.
Yeah, because we were getting all the information direct from Ethan, and he's like, "Yeah, man, like you can't even run up this thing." And I was like, "Oh, not that, yeah."
Yeah.
Full props to everyone that does it. Absolutely, like crazy, and their effort was wild. But
Yeah. You could run up it once.
yeah,
And then your legs aren't going anywhere else.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah.
Are you gonna? So you're gonna do that 1 year?
Oh, like I reckon 2026.
Yeah, I reckon that event's gonna pop off. I reckon they're gonna. Yeah,
They got, yeah.
I reckon they got the right team, the right environment, the right marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what they're doing is hectic.
Yeah.
Like the whole Harry's thing is hectic.
Yeah.
And King of the Hill is hectic.
As a central piece of it all. It's
Yeah.
wild. Yeah. Did you end up winning the deadlift thing?
I think there's a few days left, but someone's out deadlift me, I reckon. So no good.
No good.
I might get second. I reckon I'll get second unless anyone's jumped in there.
Do
What'd
some
you
of the
put in?
push-ups.
Yeah.
I put in 280, so that the max deadlift. So I reckon I'll get second. I haven't checked the app, but fingers crossed second.
280's big though.
It's all right. Well, you're way bigger than I thought you were going to be. like just
tall. Yeah,
tall.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, enduro.
You hear ultra, you think
You're
gonna weigh
enduro,
72
like doing all
kilos.
this like crazy stuff.
How heavy are you?
100.
Yeah.
Right, give or take,
Clydesdale,
like, yeah.
full Clydesdale.
So you'd have to be on the heavier side for people doing these sort of events. Like,
I got to
Yeah,
stop.
definitely. Like, which was cool. Like, Kosciuszko was hectic because I was pretty happy with my results there, and I was like, to do it at 100 kilos,
yeah, fucking
and
hell.
I got to stop using my weight as an excuse.
yeah, it's a
Always-
thing of the past now. Like,
Yeah, I always used to because when I first started running, I was like 103. Now I'm about 90. I float 98ish.
yeah,
But I'm like, yeah, there's guys around my weight, a bit low, a bit lower, a bit higher that are pumping some like really crazy times. So I'm like, yeah, I got to stop using my weight. I'm like, I'm heavy because I'm not. There are people who are doing it.
yeah.
That
I
are
think it's
heavy.
both ways as well. Like even lifting, like people are like, oh, I'm too small, lift heavy weights. And it's
Yeah.
like the cleaner,
They're the strongest people.
Anatoly or whatever the cleaner,
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
I just like anytime someone says like I'm too small, lift weights, or watch this guy.
That guy's a monster.
yeah.
Gives everyone like 32 kilo broom. Have you seen those ones?
Yeah, I literally watched one last night. I was like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like, and he just passes it like it's nothing, and then
Have you seen him? You probably haven't seen him.
32 kilo broom.
No, he's like he dresses up like a janitor at a gym, and he just does like. So there's people deadlifting like 240 or whatever, and he can obviously pull. I don't know. Is he a power? He must be a power.
I'm not sure.
It might be an Olympic lifter actually, but he's a freak, like absolute. And he'll just walk up to the bar. He's like, "You guys finished with this?" And they're like, "No, like we're doing sets." He's like, "I just got to clean under it," and like just pick it up and move it, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" And he's got a 32 kilo broom that he uses, and then like hands it to people. And like, "Oh, can you hold this?" And like hands them a 32 kilo broom, and they're just like fucking.
32 kilos. That's
Yeah.
a fucking.
Just like a Thor's hammer broom. It's just like, yeah, it's good fun. They're just like those reaction videos.
yeah,
Yeah. Do you do much lifting?
a bit like 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I got a gym. My whole garage is gym. So, but nothing like I don't think you guys are doing like
Yeah.
deadlift. I want to do actually one of my challenges. It's probably not going to happen this year, but next year. You guys heard of like the 5 and 500, which is like a sub 5 minute mile and a 500
pound deadlift?
Deadlift, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what's his name do that? Fucking
Fergus Crawley.
Fergus Crawley.
It'd
yeah.
smack that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
What's the best deadlift?
What's the best
currently?
deadlift? Yeah. 500 pounds, 227.
210 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I haven't trained deadlifts yet, so
Yeah.
I'm sure get some advice from you guys. And
And how's the mile looking?
miles looking all right, bit of work to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon definitely got it in the next 12 months if I have a period where I actually train for it. At least very close to it anyway. So
Fucking oath.
we'll see when we.
Oh, I feel like if you can do 7 marathons in 7 days and
You can find it.
You can
five
find
It's
minutes,
all
yeah.
different though. Like it's all different
work.
stuff. Like but that's what I love about it. Like you can pick and choose what you want to do. Like
Yeah.
you can do those marathons, and then you can go do something like that 5 and 500 or whatever, and just whatever you feel like you do. Like, that's why I push. Like I'm pushing the hybrid training so much because I think it is hectic. Like to be able to. Like Tarzan is essentially like how I put it. Like to be Tarzan,
You wanna be Tarzan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be. Well, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
to be
but
Tarzan, but like
just do
but
whatever.
That same
Yeah.
kind of caliber, like where you can do where you're strong but you're fast and all that sort of stuff. I
Yeah.
reckon is where it's at.
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. I think you're well on your way, man. If you can do all these sort of things, it's wild.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just tick them off, I guess.
Tick them
but-
off. What's the like the big? Is there one that you're like? Is there one like in 5 years' time, or you're seeing someone do something?
No, not at the one particular. Like honestly,
You just want to do as much
there's
as you can.
so many
Yeah.
different. Like I said, like before, there's so many different things. Like when you start looking, like there's so many like races and all that. Like you got like Western States and all that kind of stuff.
What's that? Bad water?
Bad water?
Bad
like,
water?
Yeah.
gold-
Like all those
yeah.
ones. Like Everest. Like I'll probably do Everest. I'll go back to Everest in 2026.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you got to tick that off.
yeah, tick that off.
Yeah.
Yeah, just whatever I can really. That's,
How'd you get into it at 15? Like it's such a niche.
I was actually probably started climbing. Well, I started rock climbing when I was maybe 3 or 4 years old because
Yeah.
my dad actually owned like an indoor rock climbing.
Crazy.
centre, so I used to climb down there quite a bit. When I was 8, we went out to Kosciuszko in the winter and did like a little mountaineering course, and then it sort of just sparked from there and went to New Zealand, climbed a bunch of stuff in New Zealand, climbed Mount Cook in New Zealand, if you guys know Mount Cook in New Zealand, and then just started on the 7 summits.
Yeah.
So mountaineering specifically, like I don't really, like I'm not familiar. Is it a combination of, is it essentially just climbing mountains, or is it a combination of like walking up
Trekking
as well
and-
as
and
climbing? Like
Yeah, like
is
it's
it
more
everything all-
more hiking
Yeah.
ultimately. Like unless you start getting in your real alpine style stuff, like it is essentially hiking. You get some steep slopes and stuff like that. You obviously crampons, ice axe, things like that. But yeah, ultimately it's just hiking, carrying 25, 30 kgs on the back and camping in the snow and
Stop somewhere.
it's just it's a fancier version of hiking in a cooler place and a little bit more technical most of the time. So I think Everest, obviously with altitude and stuff like that, starts playing like a different...
I feel like every mountain would have their own sort of characteristics.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you see videos on Instagram and that of people doing like going across like ridges that are like this wide and just drops either side and that sort of stuff. Like that stuff's hectic, but
Does that interest you? The kind of Daredevil type shit? Like
yeah, I'll froth that stuff, but you can only do so much as well.
Yeah.
Also,
Plenty
got
of-
2 kids at home and
for sure,
wife,
yeah.
so I gotta.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can't go killing myself. So.
Yeah.
yeah, fucking hell.
You definitely
Let's not do that.
can't fall off the side of it.
How do you find the training and all that with like having kids and stuff? Like
And traveling the world, going to, yeah.
No, it's all right. Like it's pretty. Like for me, training is number 1 priority.
Yeah.
Like, so every morning, if I've got a gym day, I wake up, go in the gym, get it done, and then every afternoon, like I normally run afternoons. One, I like the mental challenge of making myself run in the afternoon. So a lot of the time you get to the afternoon, you're like, fuck, can't be fucked running.
Yep, been there.
But when you actually make yourself run, like I feel like it builds good mental resilience.
Yep.
So yeah, just get it done no matter what, and then everything else falls in place around that. Obviously, kids. Haley,
How old are your kids?
priority, 6 and 7.
6 and 7.
They're at school, so
Yeah.
that helps. And they
Clock the KMs up. Yeah.
they come out on hikes and stuff like that, which is cool. Right before we went to Antarctica, they come and did a 14k hike with like 700 meters of vert in it and crushed it. So
Get them in early, just like yourself.
yeah.
So from like where you are now, if you wanted to go to Everest next year, outside of the current training you're doing, do you think you're good just to kind of roll into that, or is there anything you need to add to your current training or preparation to make sure you nail it when you go there?
I'd comfortably roll into Everest right now.
Yeah.
With the fitness level I'm at.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing, just having the gas tank to fucking make it through. Like,
yeah. Obviously you need the skills, like the mountaineering skills.
You've
like
got
skills
that
on
all-
ropes, but
you've
I've
got all
already
that.
got
Yeah.
that. So, but fitness wise, like I'd be happy rolling into Everest right now. I'd definitely like to be fitter. Like going to Everest, like in my opinion, you should be the best possible shape you can be. Mainly just so you get home. Like you don't want to get up there and be one of those people that lie down because you're cooked and end up frozen on top of Everest. So like I think if you're in the best possible condition, like you're giving yourself every chance to come back.
So, like, obviously, this gets pretty like morbid, but for the people who don't make it, it's because like you said, like lie down.
There's multiple reasons, but like a lot of it, like mental strength is a massive one.
Yeah.
And then general fitness. But yeah, like if you get sick,
Just for your
or
body
something
just
like
to
that,
tolerate
Like
it,
if your body says no, your body says no, and that's what ultimately happens to a lot of people up there. The other major ones is like avalanches and falls and things like that. So like avalanches is out of our control. So
another world.
but that's like you can walk across the road right now.
Of
and
course,
you get
of
hit
course.
by a car. So it is.
That's life. Yeah.
I read something the other day where they said it's safer to climb Everest than ride a bike in London or whatever. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But
That'd be interesting. Like that's like one of our other coach here, James. He's been getting into open water swimming, and like scared of sharks. Like, and I'm trying to find, man, like the likelihood is like, it's so low. Like it's not going to happen. It's just a non-issue.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, but then obviously you hear Everest and like, obviously you got to be fit, but like you think, oh, an avalanche, that's so bad. But like, how often do they actually happen? Like, what's the actual statistical risk of that?
Yeah, like
every way you go out. It could happen, but like,
everything's played up way more. Like everyone plays stuff up to make it sound more dramatic, I think. But
and in terms of like physical challenges, like, so, and in terms of like climbs, like, given that you feel like you can kind of just roll in, plus you have the climbing experience, I'd imagine that's not the hardest climb you could do, or is that about as hard as climbs get?
no, Everest is not.
Isn't
at
it
all.
K2?
K2 is probably one of
K2 in Pakistan. Pakistan. Yeah.
So K2's pretty crazy.
Just because of the terrain, or like,
The style of climb, like you start getting into like real technical climbing, and then you got the altitude side of things. I don't know exactly, but I think there's something crazy, like a 33 or 36% death rate on K2.
Oh, wow.
So when you think about that, you're like 1 in 3 people are not coming back. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that
Someone will fact check us, don't worry.
yeah. So, but yeah, it's pretty crazy when you think like 1 in 3 people potentially not coming home.
Holy shit.
So that to me, like I wouldn't go near that kind of ground because it's just not worth the. I don't think it's worth the risk.
Yeah.
I think you can do a lot of other cool shit that's not gonna put you
On the
1 in
flat
3
ground.
chance.
On the flat ground. Yeah.
Yeah. So-
Do you enjoy the running more, or do you enjoy like the climbing stuff more?
Honestly, all of it.
Yeah.
Like overall, gym, like I love doing a workout.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely love spending time in the gym. So like day to day, gym is probably my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Rock climbing, love rock climbing. So anyone ever hits me up to go climbing, like I'm straight up.
Yeah.
Let's go. Running has its days, like definitely has its days. If it's a trail run, it's always like, yeah, let's go pretty well. But when you start running on the road and you got to do a workout or whatever, it's like, man, do I really want to do this today? So that's just discipline, I guess, to get the end results.
Yeah.
Do you ever find though, you never want to start, but you always get to the end of the run and you never regret?
Yeah, no,
Going through
every time you finish a run,
You,
you're like,
you
yeah,
feel
I'm glad
like
I did it.
sense of accomplishment and you feel good and you're like, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, almost. Yeah,
All the time.
there's not a time that I can recall where I haven't felt like that at the end of a run. So it is just a matter of starting.
Getting started.
Yeah.
because I do sometimes think that like we have that feeling at our level of running. Like Charlie's done a half, I've done a half. Like Charlie, I think if we've pushed beyond, what's the longest run you've done now? Like 20.
No, it's still only half.
Okay, 21.
So,
Yeah, but sometimes I think, is there a point at which you're like, you know what, that run was just like too much? Like I'm sure there'd be a sense of accomplishment, but at some point you're like, fuck, like there's no runners high. Yeah, I'm just cooked after that.
Nah, because not even like even after 100 Ks and that I've done, like you still feel like, fuck, that's hectic. Like,
Yeah.
I think unless you put yourself on the ground, you're gonna always have that feeling.
As long as you're upright.
Like, it's the same when you crush a mad workout in the gym and like you can hardly walk out or whatever because you just train legs so hard. Like you still feel hectic after it.
Accomplished.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Is your training for the next one's in May? What happens now? You just accumulate kilometers, but you've got all this other stuff you got to worry about later in the year. Like you just continue doing what you're doing.
From now, it's just kilometers.
Yeah, you just accumulate.
Is that the big recurring factor? Like the whole year is just get more Ks. On
Yeah,
the
it
legs,
will be now. Like so, I'm gonna try build up to about 160K a week over the next 10 weeks, and then
Across how many runs?
They'll be across 6 runs in a week. So I'll do like back-to-back long runs.
Yep. What's that called? Where you do your 2 heavy runs, so you're running on hard legs. There was a name for that.
Heavy
wasn't it?
legs.
Heavy legs running. I don't know. Wasn't that a
The
thing?
Saturday into the Sunday. There was
know.
something, yeah.
There was something there. Someone was talking about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Ethan. Ethan was talking about it.
Ethan spoke about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like putting back to back, so you're running
The
on
second
heavy
run
legs.
is a fatigued run.
So I've not done that before because that's a thing that you sort of do for milers. I think some people do it for like 100Ks, but I've got a run coach and she.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's helping with all this?
Yeah, like Isabel from Peak schedules all stuff in for me. Tells me what workouts to do. Blah blah blah. She'll give me some back-to-back long runs, I'm sure.
Yep.
And just build the legs.
Build
Get
the kilometres
ready
up.
Yeah. Get ready for the 100 miles and see
For the
how
100
much it-
miler.
And do you see yourself pulling back the lifting as that gets closer, or is the plan to just keep that up pretty much the same?
I want to keep it up, but we might have to wind back a little bit. Up until now, I haven't wound back lifting coming up to ultras, but going to 100 miles is different to 100 kilometres. So it's probably going to need that extra bit of like energy and
Gas
all
in
that
the
sort of
tank,
stuff.
yeah.
So probably like 6 weeks out, I'll start winding back a little bit, and then probably 4 weeks, a little bit more, and so on and so forth.
And just build it up.
How far are the long runs?
How far will they be?
Yeah.
We'll probably do like 50k like on a Saturday, say, and then back it up with like another 30 or something on Sunday. Like I say, Isabel will just put it in the calendar for me, and it will be
Just rock up
How
and
do
go.
you go with like? Have you? Because it's something I'm sort of new. When I say new, like I started running. I was like I want to run a 5k, then it turned into 10k, and did a half, and now I'm doing the 50 marathon this year. So I'm starting to get into those longer distances. But one thing tendon, ligament, joint, all that stuff. How have you gone with like managing all that and not cooking your?
I love this one because one, don't think about it so much.
Yep.
So I think as soon as you start thinking about stuff, you automatically put it into your body or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think not thinking about it. You obviously got to be like if there's pain somewhere, you've got to change what you're doing, but your body's always gonna hurt. Like my body, like I've almost never trained when I'm not hurting. So it is just part of if you want to go places. I think you got to accept that you're going to be training when you're hurting.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's pain, it's a different story, and you got to wind it back. But I honestly don't even think about it. And so, like Isabel sometimes mentions like injuries and stuff. Like when I'm like, we'll do the 5 and 500 and whatever. She's like, oh, it's just recipe for injury and blah blah blah. I'm like, we don't talk about injuries. But I was like, so far I've been extremely lucky, and just like started slow, like build it slow is probably the biggest thing. Like people go out and try run 30-40k straight off the bat, and it's like you're just asking for problems. Like so just start with like a 10k week and then just slowly progress, and I think once you build it up, there's pretty much no stopping you. Like
Have you got any race day advice for Charlie's 50?
Go slow.
Go
slow.
The 50
Child's play for you.
no, it's not. It's still like 50k is 50k. Like it's gonna you're gonna feel it after. Like there's no doubt about that. So it's definitely an achievement. But I think go slow. Don't think about it too much. Like you're gonna finish it. Like just show up.
I'm glad you're that confident that I'm going to finish it.
If in your mind, if you're finishing it in your mind, you're going to finish it.
Yeah.
Like 50k won't, like it will hurt you, but it won't break you.
Yeah.
The way I look at it too is like if there's ever a point where you start to, it's like you just stop, you fucking refuel a bit. Like, because that's the thing, it's not, from what I understand, is you take your.
It's not a race.
It's not like fucking get there as quick as you can. It's my goal is to finish it. So you're going to stop for 15 minutes, refuel, whatever, and then keep going. And you just 1k at a time or whatever. It's like you just chip away at it.
Yeah, and you have like the best thing is like you get people along the way that you have some chats with, and all of a sudden like an hour's gone. Like like you just been chatting away to someone, and an hour's gone like that. You stop, you have some food, drink, whatever. You go again, and all of a sudden the day is done. Like the 100Ks I've done so far have just gone so quick. Like the first 100K I did was about 17 hours, and that
fast. Yeah,
it felt like 10 minutes. Like like for me, I don't know if that's normal or not, but for me they just go quick. Like
I do the schedule with that. Are you starting like early in the morning, or like are you running overnight, or like what's the?
They normally all start like around 6-7 a.m. in the morning.
and just go.
Just go.
I did the first trail run I did a few weeks ago. We went out to Dandenongs here, and it was 2 hours, and it went like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Because that feeling, like, because it's so different to the road, because it was just all the terrain's changing, you up, down, flat, then turn, and then the view's different. And then I was running with a friend as well, but it got to the 2 hours, and I was like, literally felt like.
Yeah, like,
it was like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas like out on the road sometimes I'm like, this is dragging.
Just drags, yeah. Which is why I say, like, I can almost run trail any day and not think about it, but as soon as you start jumping on the road. But then there's other people that love running on the road, like, froth it, like.
Well, I think there's also something to the boredom, pushing through the boredom, which is, I find, rewarding.
Yeah.
That, like, just being on the road, and it is slow, but pushing through. Just, all right, just another 10 minutes, and then that 10 minutes goes by, and then it's another 10 minutes, and then before you know it, you've chipped into it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same with anything. Like, just, chipping away, and you get there eventually. That's like the 50K, like, you're going to get there eventually, so just chip away.
Chip away.
Don't think about it too much. Don't worry about the end. Like, the end will come at some point. Like, as long as you keep moving, the end's coming. So
the end's coming. It's coming.
Made it eventually.
It's coming for all of us.
But that's it, like, people get fixated on thinking about the end, and all of a sudden it starts feeling out of reach or whatever, and they start slowing right down. But for me, I just there to just do kilometre by kilometre.
Just lock in.
Yeah, and it'll get done when it gets done. Hopefully quicker than slower than. But
How many hundreds have you done?
3 so far.
3.
So
Yeah.
So first one did Buffalo, which was March last year. Then did UTA, and then did Kosciuszko in November. Kosciuszko was pretty hectic.
Yeah.
They stopped the race. I got stopped for about 2 hours and 20 minutes because of a thunderstorm.
Oh, wow.
So I was literally about to leave the aid station right as they paused the race.
What happens if you're already out there running?
Well, a couple of people got out,
Yeah.
and they got to go to the next aid station. So it was like another hour or whatever between aid stations. So
And then they had to wait.
And then they had to wait. So some people had to wait like anywhere between like 40 minutes and 2 hours and 20 minutes.
You got
the full, which was like at the time I was hating it. Like, I was blowing up. I was like, this is stupid. And I told him about, like, the thunderstorm was up the top of Kosciuszko.
Was it
which is
raining? Like raining?
Rain and
Or lightning
They
and
actually
stuff.
had hail and
Lightning. Yeah.
and where we were, there was like nothing. I was clear, and you were sort of running away from the storm. So I was like, why they stopped us? But then I spoke to people like later on, and they're like, no, it was like full on hail. And
It was
like,
crazy.
Scary up the top there. And fair enough. But at the time, I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
'Cause you need a fair bit of. I was looking at the equipment list as well. You got to carry a fair bit of shit with you.
Yeah. So start practicing.
Yeah, I haven't done any of that yet. I've got to get through my half Ironman first in March 23rd, and then the May 18 is the 50K. So as soon as the half Ironman's done, I'm going full
trails.
Full prepping for that.
Yeah,
which will give 7-8 weeks. But I'm even going to start. We've got a big hill down here that I'm just going to start practicing going up and down that.
Yeah,
because it's close to my house. Just to start getting those exposures in, hit the trails, longer runs.
Yeah.
And then practice with the bag and
trail feet is probably one of the biggest ones, and that's where, like, so far what I've seen on like these ultras that I've done is a lot of people do a lot of Ks on road, and they get out there on the trail, and they're all of a sudden so much slower because they just have not got trail feet, and it does take quite a bit to build trail feet. Like,
what trail feet? So what?
Like, just the ability to step over rocks and go up steps, like different size steps and all that. Like, trails, obviously, like, you got complete mixed terrain, so you got to be adaptive, well balanced, all that sort of stuff. It's probably like just good agility, really. The Werribee Gorge, I don't know if any of you have done Werribee Gorge.
I've walked it before.
I've walked it, not run it. Yeah,
like, Werribee Gorge is one of my favourite places to run because it is like the ultimate for building trail feet. Like, down the bottom, like over the rocks and whatnot, they use smash through
about
there.
a 10K ish.
Yeah, I actually think it's only, they say it's 10K. It's only like 7.5 on your watch. So
Dirty dogs.
Will you do one, like a couple laps of that?
Yeah, like, I've been out there. I've done like 8 or 9 laps in a day out there before, so it was just funny because you see the people walking and you pass them like 4 times or whatever, and they're like gobsmacked at you. What are you doing?
Cheat me out.
But yeah, it's like out there. Like I'd suggest getting out there, and you just obviously got to be careful because it is pretty hectic down the bottom, like running through that. But it is really good for building that agility and
Trail feet.
yeah,
Trial feet.
and running downhill as well. Like
Fucking
cooks you.
hard.
If you haven't been doing it, it'll cook you like.
Was it?
It's fucking hard. It's the hardest. It was the hardest part.
Really?
Yeah, because it's all like the whole thing's eccentric
Yeah.
control. So your muscles just
Absorbing.
absorbing. So you get down, you got like a pump, and yeah, just the stress on the joints. It's like definitely have to adapt to.
Yeah. So yeah, if you don't start building it now, you'll get in your 50k and you'll send it down a hill and all this stuff. Because that's what I did in Buffalo. That's probably like 20 k's in.
Is that America, Buffalo?
No, like up bloody Vic High Country, like 3 hours north. But I was 20 k's in and started running down this hill, and I'm like, yeah, this is hectic. Like full sending it down this hill, like 4-minute k's or whatever.
Everyone else is slowed up.
Everyone-
You're just flying.
yeah. And then anyway, it's all right until I got to like the 60k mark, and then my legs were burning so much, like, and it was purely from running down that hill. So
Yeah,
now
I'm
like,
taking the hills
a little
slow.
bit more sensible, but yeah, it is definitely a different
Yeah, I feel like that's just experience. Like
experience.
Yeah.
And yeah,
You got to blow yourself up once or twice before you realise.
definitely
Yeah.
make the mistakes to know for the future, I guess.
Yeah. It's wildly impressive. And I just can't believe you just like a couple of years ago, you're just like, yeah, I'm keen to just
Yeah, I was
get
expecting
back
you to
into
say
this.
like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
you've
I've been doing this for 15 years, like building up. Just
Well, I had the base there though from like when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, like I had the base there to, like I guess I was super fit. So then I've come back to training and that, and it's built a lot quicker than probably if you're starting from complete scratch. I guess.
Yeah.
Like even though I wasn't fit, but I was still.
it was in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It was in the DNA.
And the mental resilience was there.
I think that's
from
the biggest thing.
Younger,
Yeah.
yeah. Like we had some pretty shit times on mountains when I was younger, like some big days and stuff like that. So it just carries over, and made it a lot easier to do what I'm doing now. But I stay around and just getting started. So
Yeah, you just picked it back up
yeah,
2 years ago and straight into the thick of it in Antarctica.
yeah.
I've got my family went there for a holiday, and they said that you can only really travel there over the summer months. Is it like that?
3 months. Like we were at the
You're at the end of it. No, you did it like a month ago.
Yeah, so February everyone's meant to be like the start of February everyone's meant to be out.
Yeah.
We flew out on the 29th of Jan, which that camp that I was talking about had completely like packed it all up. So
Oh wow,
when we were waiting for the plane, we were just sitting out on the ice.
that was it.
like just chilling, like everyone else gets comfort, and we were just there on the ice, just having a good time.
Just waiting for the
But
plane.
yeah, so we were like the last tourists or whatever you want to call it that were there for that season. The people that even like half the staff flew out at the same time as us, and it was like 20 staff or whatever to pack up like the last little bit of the
and they go,
camp.
and then
they
there's
go.
nothing there.
And then there's nothing there.
Full
Well, they
inside.
leave everything there, so they pack it all into like shipping containers and all that.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty hectic organisation. They pack it all into shipping containers and they pile it all up in one area, and then they come back next year and it's all sealed.
And unpack it again.
Yeah, dig it out of this, like it's often covered in snow or whatever, and just dig it out. And
And who's working there? Who's living there?
heaps of people actually. There's maybe I want to say there's 70 staff.
Yeah.
So because from this base they do obviously a whole heap of like mountains, like Vincent being the main one, but they also do like all the skiing to the South Pole. If you want to walk to the South Pole, even if you like people that just want to go see the South Pole. So a lot of people will fly down there, spend a couple of nights there, then fly to the South Pole, spend a day at the South Pole, fly back, and then fly back
Fly
to
off.
Chile. So it is like interesting place.
When you come in from South America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from Chile down the bottom
Yeah.
of South America, which is a mission getting there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Was your family with you? No.
nah,
You just went.
nah, just yeah.
Tick the box. Just
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, it's a pretty expensive trip. It's definitely not a cheap place to go, that's for sure.
Yeah. So there's like there are people that are just working there, living there.
There's people that-
but they're not there year round.
No.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of bases in Antarctica that are
Like scientists
year
and
round.
shit like that. Like,
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I think there is a couple of bases that are full year round.
But
But
the tourist side
apparently
is just more limited.
miserable. Like it's
Yeah.
horrid to be
Be
there.
dark.
Yeah.
Dark
Over
the whole-
winter,
Dark.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
the whole
because
time.
we had 24-hour sunlight.
I was going to say you would have the other one.
really?
Yeah, which was weird to get used to.
What, what did you have in?
Iceland.
Iceland.
I went to Iceland in summer too. It was like it would get not fully dark, but for like a couple hours, like that sort of dusky, dark to dusk for a couple hours. So like at midnight, it was still daylight.
Yeah.
Full daylight.
Yeah.
Like daytime.
Yeah,
It
which
throws you off.
it does.
It's a big throw off.
Like we ended up like not really looking at the clock anymore. Like we worked on when we were climbing, it was like based on where the shadow was for the time of day. So some days would start earlier and some days would start like 11 o'clock in the morning and start climbing, and you'd be setting up camp or whatever at midnight. And then
Yeah.
it's just like the time
Didn't
becomes
really make a difference,
irrelevant.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just you just do what you got to do when you got to do it, and yeah.
And the Vincent climb itself, how long did that take you?
Is that 8 days? 7 days we were on the
Yeah.
actual mountain. So
Yeah.
the time we flew into base camp to flew out of base camp, so it could be done pretty quick.
Yeah.
But it's acclimatizing as well. Even though it's only 5,000 meters, you still need a bit of acclimatization.
Yeah. How big's Kosciuszko?
2-2.
Oh wow,
So Kosciuszko's
a little hill.
There you go. Bump in the road.
it is a little hill.
A little hill. And that 100 on Kosciuszko, you go all the way up it?
Yeah, you used to go to the summit
Yeah.
on Kosciuszko.
What was the Kosciuszko 100? How many meters of elevation?
I want to say 3.8 from memory.
So I looked at the one it's the 100 was like 4 or something, but then
Yeah.
I've got 2 or 2 or something.
Yeah.
Which
That's
I've got.
probably-
I don't know if that's a lot or a little or
Perspective.
just, yeah. So we'll see.
For me, 2-2 is pretty cruisy day.
Chill, yeah.
But yeah, for other people, 2-2 is pretty hectic amount of elevation to gain.
Yeah.
Really just depends on how much training you've been doing prior and all that sort of stuff. Should stop touching it.
No, that wasn't even you. It's just bubbling. Yeah. Nah.
2.
2-2. Charles, you got any other questions for your day, your big day? Food.
Yeah. Ethan
Rations.
Ethan gave me a big list, but yeah.
What are your rations
skip,
on a Antarctica? What are you rationing?
Well, Union Glacier was obviously hectic food.
Yeah.
When we're on the mountain, shit food, like a lot of snacks.
Is it like dehydrated stuff?
For as we got higher up on the mountain, like low camp and base camp, we had real food because they actually
Brought
bury
it
the
up?
food. Yeah, they bring it up, and there was some food there that was from like 2022 and stuff like that, like used by 2022. It's like, it's been like the temperature is like the warmest it gets at low camp is probably like minus 15. So
Yeah.
It's all frozen. It's all frozen.
well, it's really
It's a
frozen.
brick.
So you just, but so you have a bit of like normal food, base camp, low camp, and then high camp. You're on freeze dried.
Yeah.
Food, which I like freeze dried food. Like you get the
What
right.
is freeze dried? Like what do you eat?
I'm
What's a meal? What does a meal look like?
I'm envisioning
Mainly
those
pasta. Like it's just a packet and it's just dried out, and you just add boiling
water.
It comes back to life.
And then in 10 minutes, it's like eating like a real pasta. So, like anyone that complains about freeze dried, they're eating the wrong shit or they're exaggerating. Like I'll eat freeze dried meal right now.
Just
happily, like,
just during the day.
It's not that bad. Yeah.
Muscle
it's not
Chef.
really. Yeah,
Muscle Chef freeze dried edition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but
Because you got to carry it all. You got to take it all up there and
yeah, up to high.
But I guess you get the water. You just fill a little thingy up.
Yeah, you-
Trangia. What do you
Yeah.
have? How do you heat the water up?
just big stoves.
You just got a stove. Yeah. Gas bottle.
Everything's off white gas there, which is like a shit form of gas. Like you go hiking here, you use like jet fuel or whatever.
Yeah.
But you go hiking there, it's all white gas, and you got to pour it in the bottles, and that's horrid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's pretty cruisy. Like,
What about chafing? How do you overcome chafing?
well, there is not a problem. Like on Kosciuszko 100, I got done real bad. I don't know why. Like everything I did like normal, like so I did nothing different, but for some reason just got cooked.
Just ripped you up.
ripped me. Like,
Where specifically?
but everywhere I had shorts on was chafed by the end of it. Like it was probably the worst chafing I've ever had in my life.
What do you use for anti-chafe? I love
Nut butter.
nut
normally,
butter.
Yeah.
That's some nut butter. Vaseline. I thought.
Yeah, sometimes like I used the Vaseline when I started, and Haley ordered me some nut butter, and since then I've just been using nut butter.
Nut butter.
On it works, but yeah, I don't know. Obviously, Kosciuszko, there's something in the air or something. I don't know what it was, but man,
Fucked
it was
ya.
horrid. Like normally it's pretty good. Like nut butter does the trick, and don't have to really worry about it. For food in ultras, I eat mainly real food. Like I hate gels and stuff like that. Keep the gels for like if I really need them, if I need a caffeine boost or anything like that.
So what are we talking?
What?
Like
Sandwiches.
pasta, croissants, sandwiches, whatever.
How do you bring your pasta and stuff like so?
Normally Haley makes it for me.
Yeah. So what? You just
So I've got the best support crew ever.
so just in a Tupperware.
But either she'll make it like the morning of and put it in a thermos, which works really well.
Yep.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, or we also have like a little camp stove and just cook whatever.
And because at the aid stations you can take your own drop bags.
yeah, but if you're going to have someone with you, like you're going to have a support
I haven't
crew, or-
figured that out yet.
because if you
My-
got someone
my
with
wife-
you, they can, you don't even need, they can just drive to each aid station and,
Hand it to you.
hand
Yeah,
it to you.
probably my wife. I don't think she knows that she's doing that for me yet.
Yeah, well-
she'll find out now.
Sure, yeah.
She thinks she's drinking. She thinks she's going to be out with my the friend I'm doing it with. She thinks she's going to be out with his wife.
Oh, yeah.
But
no,
I think she's driving to the aid stations.
Yeah, definitely.
Ethan said cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers.
Cold cheeseburgers.
He was like,
Macca's?
because he goes, you'll be looking forward to food at each station.
Yeah, well, that's like you got to find what works, but that's
Yeah.
also in your training now. Like you start playing with
Cheeseburgers.
some different. If cheeseburgers is your thing,
Pasta's
cheeseburgers.
fucking heavy though. Like,
Yeah, well, that's
Well, after you eat that, are you sitting there for a bit, or you just
Nah.
like eat it straight back to walking, running?
straight. Yeah,
Yeah, right. There you go.
yeah. But that's me. Like it
Works for
me.
you.
Like it works for me. Like it doesn't really affect me in any way, shape, or form.
He also said 2-minute noodles.
similar to
Everyone's
noodles,
eating
pasta.
noodles, and you know what? On UTA, there was piles of vomited up noodles. So I'm just saying,
Noodles are no good.
I don't think noodles are good, but
naggy
again,
mess.
if they work for you, they work for you.
Stick clear of the noodles, Charlie.
I'm going to see my vomit.
I reckon what that is that's
Big
someone who's never had noodles before. The day of, they just try noodles because everyone else is doing it, and their
Yeah.
guts are like, "What's going on here?" Like,
You probably do get a bit of that.
it's got to stick to the shit you.
You definitely you want to try whatever
wanna
you're gonna
try
eat on race day. You want to be trying,
Trials in like have it, then run.
yeah, yeah,
Or run
on your,
and
or
have it.
on your long run days, like eat in the middle, like take whatever you're gonna
Yeah.
eat or whatever.
Try it out.
cheesies.
I think there's going to be some definite mistakes made for me with this thing.
Croissants are go to
Dense,
for me. Like,
yeah,
I
quite
reckon
dense.
they're really good. But yeah, any sort of pizza rolls, whatever, like just carbs, I guess.
You're getting because you're getting that 50 grams of carbs, quite dense, tastes good. You just get
Yeah. But yeah, if you can do gels, do gels. Like some people rave. Like some people run the whole 100K on gels, which I don't know how they do.
40
but
gels.
A lot of
Yeah,
gels.
like each their.
I'll definitely have some
I
gels.
feel
with
like,
me.
yeah, it's the whole conversation about music and shit. It's just,
Yeah, like it's
find
still
whatever.
works for you.
Yeah.
I'll have some gels with me for sure because I like them.
You like them?
Yeah, I've never had an issue. Yeah, it's easy.
Like I don't mind them, but I just think, well, like I can eat real food. So for me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat real food.
Why
over-
not?
I'll probably do a mix, some gels and food.
Yeah, that's probably the best way.
Yeah,
And then electrolytes is the other thing. Make sure you're pumping some electrolytes.
yeah. What do you? I just have sodium salt tablets.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
So
just pump those
again, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Try some of our electrolytes and
out there.
see how they go.
See how they go.
Yeah, so we had them for Kosciuszko. I ran the whole Kosciuszko on those, and I was happy as like no cramps, no sickness of any sort. So,
Carbs in them.
yeah, low. We've gone low with the carbs.
Yep.
We are going to make a product in the future that is going to be like an endurance sort of base product that's going to be heavy carbs. But these ones is more
Have you developed these products for the stuff
me.
you're doing?
For me, yeah.
No, like it, yeah, like it.
But literally,
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're based on how I like
Your requirements.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
And then
How much sodium and potassium and stuff is in the
so 960 milligrams per liter.
sodium?
The sodium, yeah,
And then what, 200, 300, 400
Salty.
yeah,
potassium?
yeah, probably around that.
Yeah.
Couldn't even tell you the actual number to be honest, but and then 10 grams of carbs per serve.
So lower on the carbs, more so,
yeah,
I just got the salt tabs because I know that's what Ethan did that, and it's just easy. Just fucking
yeah. Well, that's
Drink
what,
the
when
water.
I started running, like that's what I was using as well,
Yeah.
like the precision body capsules or whatever. And that's another thing that we want to make in future as well, is the actual salt capsules or tablets. Or
I just got
whatever,
the ones from Chemist Warehouse, 100 tablets, $10,
yeah,
250
That
milligram,
works,
250 milligram per salt tablet
yeah.
of
Like again, it's just finding whatever works for you and just testing it out before.
yeah.
Once you know what works, pretty well stick to it.
Did you find early on, because everyone talks electrolytes, you know, obviously, and when you do get into these big, long, you do need to replenish them. Did you ever have times where you didn't replenish adequately and you did find you cramped, or what did you find? Like,
The first 100K I did, I got some pretty hectic cramps in. And then probably from there, I went a little bit heavier on electrolytes and just trying to fuel that a little bit better. But after that, like I haven't really had much issues at all.
yeah, a gram an hour is what I've roughly heard as a general rule.
Yeah.
Salt.
Yeah, probably about that. Like I'll go through, so on Kosciuszko, I was drinking pretty much a litre of our electrolytes every hour without fail. And that was good for me,
Yep.
which, yeah, is your 960 milligrams.
Gram.
Yeah.
And at the aid station, you can replenish,
Yeah.
your water and shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I have unlimited water
Yep.
and bunch of snacks, fruit. So I normally just get fruit from like the aid stations and then whatever else I want, I just bring on top. But normally I have heaps of watermelon, oranges, whatever, bananas. So any of that stuff just makes you scab from the race because you're obviously paying for it.
Ethan was like to me though, because I'll be slow. He goes, by the time you get there, it'll all be gone.
He
anyway."
did say that.
Nah, no way.
It won't be gone.
Nah,
he's gassing me.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
having me on.
Maybe, but I think you'll be right.
There'll be some stuff. I'm still going to bring my own stuff, but
Yeah, well, you can never have too much.
yeah, you still want some stuff there that you're like, oh, crazy, I'll grab that.
And you change as well. Like Haley hates it. She bloody will get all this different stuff because I'll tell her to get all this different stuff, and then I'll only eat like 10% of it or whatever.
Yeah.
But you do like what you feel like, what you think you're gonna feel like. You often don't feel like. So you got to sort of have those reserves, like those different styles.
A couple of options.
Yeah.
Options.
Yeah. Because you did say at the very start that you did some teenage things and then you built some businesses.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else running, or are you just doing the nutrition subs now?
Got a couple of different things
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
We're working on a software company as well.
Oh wow.
And then a couple other
Yeah.
little things, but Go Nutrition is the main focus.
That's the one you wanna
now.
push, yeah.
That's what.
I feel like it's a pretty cool angle, being like you're doing all this stuff and it's like the requirements of you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I
Yeah.
guess, and that's why I sort of started as it is a gateway to doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to sponsor, like I want Go Nutrition to sponsor people doing cool stuff.
Get in contact with Ethan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you, for him directly or?
Yeah, just
yeah.
No, not him directly, but like the hardcore Harry stuff,
Yeah,
like
well,
the app.
yeah.
Jump on the app and stuff like that.
Well, we're on the app.
You're on the
Oh,
app?
yeah?
you
Yeah,
got-
lovely.
We're on the
Yeah.
app, so
That's
but yeah, we're starting to build relationships. And
Yeah.
do like so over the next 2 years, I think it's going to be pretty exciting for Go Nutrition.
Yeah.
It's just getting people on board,
Yeah.
buying the stuff and trying the stuff. People are scared to go spend $80 on a supplement that they don't know whether it's going to taste good and stuff like that. So we're starting to try and get more.
Get out there a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going to do more events at gyms and things like that.
Well, I feel like this whole ultra thing is just taken off.
It is,
Like
yeah.
every Ned Brockman, bloody, we've got to get Chopper on. We have to.
Crazy running.
We have to. Crazy running man. I don't know. Did you see him?
I've seen a little bit.
Yeah. Like just obscene. Like what is going on?
Yeah, I know.
And they just keep getting like it's wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. That's what I mean. Like, where's it stop?
Where did it come from though? Like last 2 years, I feel like it's the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, I guess it's always been there, but it's just like anything, like just trending at the moment.
Goggins.
We're a bit more exposed to it as well.
Yeah.
I feel like it was probably there.
Started with Goggins on Joe Rogan,
Goggins.
and then it just.
Goggins and Cam Haynes
Yeah, they've put a big push.
I have to
on
listen
the
to
whole,
a Cam Haynes one.
10 years ago on Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
But it's been there.
Yeah,
I think we're
definitely-
more exposed to it now.
yeah. But it is like running is definitely trending. Like
yeah.
100% all around. Like there's definitely more people running. Sorry.
I don't know. It's just temperamental today.
But there's more people running every single day without fail. Like even like just around like where I live, like I swear since I've moved there, there's probably been like a 10% increase of people I see running, and it's like
Run clubs.
Gold Coast.
yeah.
Yep.
But like I sort of live in between like Gold Coast and Brisbane.
Yep. Because I'm going to Gold Coast on Sunday. For a
Oh, yeah.
week, so I know they love getting up early.
Yeah.
Get up early and run because I want to.
4 a.m.
Yeah, fuck, I don't know.
But it sounds weird.
The sun's up though,
But
isn't it?
the sun is
yeah.
up and it just feels normal. That's like we come back down here and all of a sudden you're getting up at 6 again and it's just normal.
Yeah.
But then it's like as soon as I go back tomorrow, we'll be up at 4 a.m. again. And it's just
Because I want to get up and get my run because I can't bike while I'm up there for the week, but I do want to still try and get my runs and swims in, and I want to get up and do them earlier before we do whatever shit we're going to do for the day. So yeah, I got to
are
try
you
it.
staying in surfers or
Broad Beach, yeah.
Broad Beach, yeah.
Broad Beach, yeah.
yeah, run along the beach there.
It's really nice.
Yeah,
People up and about.
yeah,
Yeah, mad
just gets you buzzing. Like,
It's a lifestyle up there.
lifestyle.
it is like it is it's the fitness capital, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
Australia, like,
I'm keen. Yeah, I'm keen to do that. Get up and run along there, along the water.
there's some there's some pretty good like trail runs out there if you get time, but obviously trail running takes a lot of time, but
Yeah,
getting there and the actual time on trail. But
yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to get any trails done this time around because we're going up with my family and stuff. So I think morning, get up, bang out,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
60,
Bang it out.
90 minutes,
Bang
all
it
the
out.
beach, and then done.
yeah,
Bip bop.
And then can do do whatever else we do for the day.
Yeah.
Theme parks.
yeah, that's mainly what they do.
Yeah.
Fucking oath.
Fuck the theme parks. They're so expensive. Nice. Well, thank you very much for coming down. We'll have the Go Nutrition link down in the show notes as well as your Instagram handle. But is there anything particular that you want people to follow you on?
No,
Just Instagram. Just
follow us on Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah, got
Easy.
some cool shit coming, and
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for the 7 in 7 is the one that what do they call it? The world race,
great world race,
Great World Race.
Yeah,
That's the one that's intriguing me.
yeah. That's it got me intrigued too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thanks for coming on, and it's
Yeah,
impressive
thank
what
you.
you're doing, man.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
If you made it all the way to the end of the episode, thank you very much. We do appreciate it. If you could help us by either sharing it to a friend or on social media, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, if you're a young coach, I'd highly recommend checking out my free coaching course, which is called Think Deeper. It covers the principles and the ideas that I find central to the value that I produce and have provided through building my personal career alongside strength culture. So it's one of the links down below. So if you are a young coach looking to level yourself up, I'd highly recommend checking out the free course, Think Deeper.